hello, and welcome to this week's Rag Company podcast. Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Levi, you look a little different since we last spoke. What is going on over there?
So, relaxing, enjoying myself, and here in my hall.
I see that.
Enjoying a frosty Diet Pepsi and the spoils of battle.
Well, okay. What have you been battling lately?
A staph infection.
Not fun. Wow. Amidst all this other stuff, you had to go and get something different just to be special.
Well, I like to be a little more different than others. I like to have a little fun. I like to mix it up. Can't let one virus get the better of me. I gotta sometimes bring on a couple of other versions.
It's like a sickness hipster over here.
It is.
That's right.
So why don't we start this whole thing off with some housekeeping? I know we got a live audience here, which is always fun. I've been enjoying that lately. But Anthony, can kind of tell us what's going on this week, and then Levi, feel free to kind of join in and.
Dane, I'm absolutely happy to tell you what's going on this week. And so for this, I'm going to be pulling up my phone here because we're going to be talking about something pretty fun happening within the next 6 days. Can you believe it? 6 days.
6 days?
Fun. 6 days of fun. So launching today, right? The email blast actually just went out not even an hour ago or less than an hour ago. The 6 days of TRC Christmas is now live on theragcompany.com. So this is kind of our take on our sale, and there's a lot of other great days of Christmas sales going on multiple other websites, but this is what we wanted to do here at the Rag Company. So to kind of give you a rundown, today and today only, is 30% off of all PNS chemicals.
Oh, snap.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
So use code PS30 at checkout, and you'll save 30% off, and that's basically everything from Bead Maker to Brake Buster to Express to Inspiration to, let's keep going, Terminator. What else we got, Dane?
Well,
Paint Prep.
Let's be real. Let's think about
Clarity
this.
Cream. I don't know if we have that.
We kind of stop at 20% because for us, everything is at a really fair price to begin with.
Yeah.
So we mark stuff down. Other places will be like, 70, 80%, which is crazy. We deliberately just start with a lower price to begin with. We don't play that game. So when we do something like a 20 or a 30% off, that's actually huge for us. I just want everybody to notice that.
It's pretty massive. Yeah. People don't realize how big of a sale this is.
Correct. So 30% off all PNS chemicals. So if you're wanting to stock up on Bead Maker, if you're wanting to stock up on Brake Buster, any other your favorite PNS chemicals, please go and order today. Now, let's just say you're like, Anthony, I got so much Bead Maker and Brake Buster. That's the last thing I need. Okay. Well, tomorrow, right, is 40% off all Eagle Edgeless. Eagle Edgeless, 40% off. So everything from the 350 to the
People
500 to the 600. Eagles are discounted actually better than ever, right? Wow. So I would say that this is the time to really stock up on all your Eagles. So using code EAGLE40 at checkout will get you that. Now on the 17th, right, is a BOGO on select products. So basically buy something, get something else for free, right? So we have some pretty cool ones, some unique ones that I think that people will like. For example, right, one of the BOGOs that I really thought was a good deal and something that you could gift to a friend is the Scan Grip Color Match pen.
Oh,
right. So the pen light, right, that everybody likes, super handy for finding swirls and things like that. Buy one, get one free. So if you have a detailer in your life that you feel like you could give one of those to, that's a great time to stock up on that. And we are going to be running some other BOGOs as well. And so there's no code for that.
30% off Color Lock on the 18th.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I was just about to get to that. You beat me to it, Levi. So, yes.
Look at 30,
that. So 30% off, and that's going to be all Color Lock kits. That's going to be Color Lock standalone products. So if your leather has seen better if your leather is feeling very weathered, if your leather is weathered.
Leather's weathered.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's time to refresh that. And plus, since we're in December, right, there's no better time to condition that leather within these cool months because
get it going, get it clean.
You want to prevent that cracking. You want to make sure that there is some type of protection on that leather, especially during the cold months. So Color Lock is going to be on the 18th, and then on the 19th we have up to 50% off special kits. So we've created some special kits for the holidays, right, to spread some cheer, to spread some joy, right. think we know of a few people out there that like to spread joy.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, look at Levi. I can not be joyful just seeing that image of a Leviking, as Umberto here helpfully pointed out.
I like that. I like that a lot. And then lastly,
draped in my gauntlets.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well.
So then on Sunday, right? So basically what we've done is we've taken our everyday value line and we've done an extra 10% off our everyday value line. So this is stuff that's already so discounted. This is stuff that's already such a sale price that when we throw in that extra 10%, it really is kind of the icing on the cake. And so, I mean, that's pretty much everything within the everyday value line. So if you like the, I believe a couple of the things like the VLBs in there, I would say, hey, go buy some liquidators, but unfortunately, we're out of those. You guys need to stop. Stop buying stuff on days that aren't sales because we want to be more prepared for that.
What kind of business are we?
I don't know, man. We keep selling.
Stop buying stuff.
We keep selling out of things, and we honestly we don't mean to. We're hoping that it's that we have some extra stock. But yeah. So anyway, 10% off there on Sunday using the code value 10. So 6 days of Christmas, and I believe. I think that there was special stickers made. I have no confirmation of that.
Ooh, mystery.
I saw a design that Nate made, and it was amazing, but I haven't heard anything about the stickers.
Yeah, normally we're more on the up and up, like when something like that is happening. So the fact that we haven't seen anything like that exactly, other than like ideas, probably points to, no, I don't want to get people's hopes up. But if you do get one, wow, that's awesome. And hey, maybe you will, maybe you won't.
Well, to be honest, our team was still recovering from Black Friday. That was like D-Day for us, right?
That was...
It was
intense.
That was pretty intense, man. I mean, like honestly, I kind of feel like they still have, like the Packers have some PTSD from this right now, and so like
we gotta be kind.
I go in there and I say the word sale, and they kind of start twitching a little bit, and
careful with
I'm
that.
like, I'm sorry, but it's a small sale. It's 6 days.
They were like I think
they ducked for cover,
and
they
had pitchforks and torches, and they were like, "Get out of here, demon."
Yeah.
And you were like, guys, I was just coming in here to sign a bottle of Rags to Riches. And they were like, you out. And you got mobbed out. It was,
they were talking
like you were a Frankenstein monster.
Well, they were talking about a sacrifice, right? And so they were saying like the next person that comes in here talking about a sale is going to be sacrificed, right?
Nate has helpfully pointed out that we do have those. They're going out with every order. I assume he's referring to a sticker.
Good job, Nate.
What I would love to know is what those stickers actually look like. Because I saw them, but I'd like to be able to show you guys.
I think it says the Rag Company, and it's a Christmas story.
Oh, a Rag Company Christmas story.
The movie A Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was a good one.
That's what the style is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's very exciting.
Come on, that's fun.
That is fun, right?
Admittedly, if it looks a little weird that we don't know what's going on over there, it's because our two buildings have essentially been, not because there's like anything bad going on, just quarantined, like to be safe. We're trying to keep each other like in our own little zone.
They won't let us go in there, and they
so
can't
we
come
don't
inside
go over there.
here.
They don't come over here just for a while, and we don't always know
it's been like
what's
5
going
weeks.
on.
We haven't been able to go in that building.
It's been a minute, so yeah.
Well, I go to see people in the other building, and like we've all aged, right? Like it's at that point where I'm like, hey,
you get gray hair?
You have a beard now, and they're just like, oh yeah, I have 4 kids. I'm like, you have 4 kids in 5 weeks? That's not even possible. So here we go. The Rag Company. Yes. I don't know if we can get a zoom in on that there. Maybe Nick. Get a zoom in on the Rag Company Christmas story sticker.
There you go.
That's sweet, man. That's actually freaking
really
awesome sticker.
It's Nick, like Nate killed it, dude. Like
Nate is so good.
He came up with that, and it was just like, wow, dude. How did you? Yeah, there you go.
I love that.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah. So
very excited about that sticker.
Super cool, man. This is a sweet sticker. So Nate did a killer job. So
all is not lost.
It kind of reminds me of the font from Family Matters.
Oh.
Right? Does it not?
Does our audience even remember that show?
I love Family Matters.
I was saying
man.
I enjoyed it, but
I watched Family Matters as a kid all the time.
Okay, probably at least a third of our audience does remember it. I don't want to assume, but.
But so basically we have that, and then we did have a small amount of gallons, and so basically if you were able to kind of cop a gallon of the Rags to Riches, then awesome. I don't know how many we have left, but I know that we're expecting a restock here. hopefully within the next, I think the next couple days. Next up on the housekeeping list, Grandambassadors for Q1 of 2021. I can't believe I'm saying this.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, application goes live on this Thursday. So in 2 days from now, the application goes live for 2021. So please, if you have any interest in becoming a Grand Ambassador for the Rag Company and part of our kind of sponsorship ambassador program, now is the time to apply for that. And so we are going to be announcing the Grand Ambassador of the Year for 2020, I believe early January, sometime in January. And so, and just to kind of give you guys a rundown, if you are a current Grand Ambassador or know of one, and I'm just going to say this out on this right now, we last year wanted to be able to offer something really cool, right? So last year, Zaya, right, from Carnuba Detailing, he was the Grand Ambassador of the Year for 2019.
Yeah.
And he won a ton of stuff. I mean, literally, he won Koenig wheels.
A little over $5,000 worth of stuff.
Dude, he won a detailing rack. He won a polisher. He won all sorts,
lines.
Full chemical lines, everything. And so, and then after that had happened, we had talked about how, holy smokes, that was a really good deal. What we should do is maybe offer some type of trip, right? Whether it's in the form,
planning on like kind of a
kind of like saying like, hey, like we'll fly somebody out. We will pay for their stay and maybe take them with us to Mobile Tech, right?
We're looking at like maybe doing a Wash Wednesday with somebody too, and like a whole thing like that.
Something to where like they're more involved
and have a permanent lasting thing with it.
Yeah, and some type of experience.
And we might do that in the future. So.
Yeah, and we had thought about like, hey, maybe there's Mobile Tech, maybe there was SEMA, maybe there's something along those lines. And then this year happened. And we realized that traveling is probably
traveling's pretty low on people's list.
Yeah, the least likely thing that's going to happen. So this year we are going to be doing another big grand prize again, very similar to last year. And so that's kind of the plan for this year. So whoever wins Grand Ambassador of the Year is going to be hooked up pretty fat with some pretty crazy stuff. And so we're really excited about that. Yeah. But
Anthony and I have already been reaching out to all the companies, and we're just saying it's going to be a good prize package so far with the emails we've been getting back. So.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So that's kind of something to look forward to for all the Grand Ambassadors this year. And so, and if you want to apply, please do. It is a worldwide program. So this quarter, for example, we have somebody in Australia. We have somebody over in Ireland. We have people in Canada. We have people here within the U.S. And so the idea is that we kind of get worldwide coverage with this ambassador program, and kind of keep spreading the word of premium microfiber and have as much fun as we can with this program. So it is fun. It is a really cool thing, and I'm glad it has grown to the point that it has now. So that's the housekeeping for this week. So sales live, Grand Ambassador program, sponsorship goes live this Thursday, and will be open for 1 week, and then that'll be announced at the beginning of the year. So have fun with it, guys. This is a fun opportunity to get your name out there and to grow with us.
Like Colby here. Colby's ready.
Yes. And one other thing too I want to tell people is that if you've applied before and let's just say you didn't get it, apply again, guys.
Don't be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged.
Please.
It's just a matter of, how active you are, what kind of credentials you have at that time, and what we're looking for that you're doing at that time. And a lot of people, they're like, crap, maybe I wasn't, posting as much, or maybe I wasn't as active enough on this, but now I'm going to be active for the next quarter. I'm going to apply again. And so please do that.
Not everybody is just a constant, like, oh, they don't really interact or anything. Like, if there's one hint we can give you, interactivity is big. Like, not just you interacting with others, but others engaging with you. To see that interplay, to see that back and forth, that's a very good sign, and we definitely pay attention to that.
Yeah, we want to see people,
manage to be really good, not just people, like people person kind of people, but also just engaging online, putting out content that really speaks to people and gets them engaged. That's the kind of stuff we really like to see.
That's very true. So, all right, so that's all I got for housekeeping. So let's just jump straight into the weekends. Levi, what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do
on your amazing weekend?
My. So, wonderful, great weekend. Just kind of hanging out, enjoying myself. Friday, I got we did nothing. Literally came home, got some pizza from Papa John's because that's Augie's favorite. Had some Papa John's pizza. Just kind of chilled out as a family. We watched The Mandalorian. That's kind of our Friday night thing that we do now with the kids, and really just had a good night. Saturday, I just kind of hung out all day. I didn't have a car to do. But just kind of wanted to be lazy and relax. And I thought, man, Saturday night I'm going to clean my garage and get the MOSHQ looking sharp, looking fresh. And well, I took my kids to Fred Meyer's. We were walking around. I called my wife and was like, man, my leg really, really hurts. And I had an ingrown hair on my leg. And I thought, man, this is painful. So I told my wife when we were at the store, I was like, this hurts. So when I came home, I put the kids to bed, got them all taken care of, and then hopped in the tub. And then Carly tried to work a little bit on it. We couldn't get anything to happen. It was so painful. So I thought, well, let's just leave it. We'll see how it goes. Then Sunday morning, woke up and my whole right hip hurt. So basically my lymph node had taken on the infection, and it felt like someone had beaten me with a 2x4 in the right hip.
I'm sorry, man.
Hurt to walk. And so then I did the thing again, took another hot shower. We tried to see if we could get it out. By now it was just a big red pain on my leg, and went to the clinic, and they cut me open and cleaned it and numbed it. And
oh my God.
I bet you didn't think you were getting this on a 10 a.m. podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
did they finger the wound at all to try to?
God.
I don't know. They used some tweezers and dug around, she said.
Well, Dane knows a few things about being cut open, and so that happened to him.
He does, yeah. Yeah, he's been cut open a couple times.
I'm sorry,
I think he's been
missed the first time.
He's been scoped from both ends, too.
Man.
So, but they...
Did I get confused?
Anyway,
Is this actually 10 p.m., not 10 a.m.?
So, anyway, they gave me some medication and gave me some antibiotics. They said that it looked like it was a staph infection, and sent me on my merry way after they they couldn't stitch me up, so they packed me up, put a swab over it and some transderm patch, and said, come back tomorrow. So needless to say, I was nice and numb on Sunday night, but I called your folks, and your mom was like, stay home for the next 3 days, get your antibiotics working, and we don't want anything else. We're already fighting one. We don't want to contaminate anybody else in the building. And so I said, all right, sounds good. So that's where I'm at. Last night I went in, they cleaned my wound again and fixed it. And the nurse was telling me she had the same thing happen this summer on her shoulder. And she had to go in like 8 times to get it cleaned out. And I was like, gross. That's gross.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. G. Davis's comment. I'm sorry.
I don't get to see any of these.
I'll put it up there.
Oh man!
He just says the medical staff held Dane like a bowling ball.
Oh man, that's way more. That's so visual. Man. That's like way more visual than what I wanted.
Such a short sentence hurts so much. Okay, moving on. Levi, this is about you. Tell your story.
But yeah, so anyway, so that was it. But so I'm going to go back in this afternoon, have them clean it up one more time, and I think I should be good to go. And then I'll be fine. But my leg feels better. It was crazy. Once they cut everything open and cleaned it, but they were like, there was no drainage other than just normal blood. So there wasn't an infection or anything like that. So that's good. So they think my lymph node took care of it. And but pretty crazy. I've never experienced that kind of pain before, or the fact that like my whole right leg was in that much pain and my hip was in that much pain. Pretty crazy to even feel that or have that. So first time for everything. So just we tried to be super careful here at the house, and we've washed and cleaned all of our laundry and bedding and everything just to make sure for all the kids and stuff too, just in case, because I don't know where it came from. So it's one of those things. And so same thing with work. I think your mom was going to get the whole place sanitized and cleaned just to make sure, and that you guys also aren't carriers of it or what's going on. So
we don't mess around.
Pretty crazy.
We want to do it right. So,
it's one of those things where it was pretty crazy to go like, oh man. So, but that's been my weekend. So needless to say, I didn't get my garage cleaned. I didn't get this place looking the way I wanted to, but my leg's still attached, so that's good.
That's nice.
Good.
That's a good feeling.
No, if nothing
other
else.
than that was it. Yeah, we just kind of hung out, watched some movies, hang out, watch some TV. We've been, it's been good. Took the kids to Craven's candy store last night.
Oh,
Augie
fun.
ended up ODing on some sugar.
How was that? The meter spiking?
Oh my gosh, no! It was he got a whole tray of gummies, Anthony.
Yeah.
Of gummy burgers, gummy pizzas,
Geez.
bought a whole kit. Completely engulfed all of those. Said that was his dinner.
You never feel
said,
good
no, this
after
piece
that.
Of pizza
you just don't.
Is your dinner, and he didn't end up eating his pizza, but he ate a gummy pizza, so he felt that was equal.
Yeah, same nutritional value.
Health.
Yeah. Other than that, though, everybody was good. We had a good weekend. What about you guys?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, Anthony, you want to take it away?
Yeah. Well, so I think it was it was Friday night, Friday evening.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all got off work and it was starting to be kind of crappy out, or was it nice out? I can't remember.
It was actually nice. The snow didn't come until like Sunday.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So then I think it was Friday night. I think that's where I went home and it was a pretty.
Well, I guess I should start by saying that on Friday you gave me a hot tip about there being.
Yeah, Dane. Yeah. Friday.
We've kind of in the office been going back and forth about our adventures trying to get a hold of like an Xbox Series X or a PS5. And this has been an ongoing battle because, of course, everybody else is trying to get them too. Now, I will caveat this by saying I have not played a console in probably 7 or 8 years. My console I have is an Xbox 360 that hasn't been touched in, like I said, about 7 years or so. So it's just been sitting there. I haven't done anything with it. And I thought, this new Series X is coming out. I'm kind of interested in just like playing some of these new games and stuff. Thought it'd be kind of fun. I'm sure other people out there, if you are into that, you can relate. If you don't care about video games, this probably won't interest you. But just know that like anything that a lot of people want and a shortage of supply is out there, it's kind of crazy trying to get a hold of anything. So every time these pop up, they're gone in like seconds because these people like program bots to like buy them and then throw them up on a secondary market where they go for insane money. Like it's a $500 console new, but somebody out there is selling it for $1,200, $1,500,
Honda Civic,
$2,000. But like you could buy a Civic for that.
It is.
So,
it is basically Civic.
Needless
prices.
to say, it's really hard. But Anthony got a tip from a friend.
Yeah.
And what was the text like?
So I saw a picture, right, and it had 2 Xboxes in a shopping cart at Walmart, and I said, "No way!" And I said, "Where's that at?" He's like, "Dude, the Glenwood and State Street. You know, apparently they have some in stock." And I said, "Like, do they still have them in stock?"
Yeah, literally right up the street.
And he was just like, "Yeah, the guy sounded pretty confident, like he had a lot." So I told Dane, I said, "Hey, Dane, listen, we're all doing stuff. Can you go down there and go see if they have any? If they have 2, can you pick me up one as well?" Yeah. And I know that Dane really wanted an Xbox. I want a PlayStation, but I figured I could probably trade it or something like that. So Dane's like, "Yeah, I'll go right now." So he gets down there. I call Dane. I say, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" And he update. He's like, "Yeah, the guy's kind of like checking. I'm waiting for somebody here." And then he texts me. He's like, "Okay, so bad news. They only have 1." And I try to hassle the guy, and I try to ask him if there's more in the back, and I got nothing out of him. So I just got the 1 for myself. And I am
before everybody thinks I'm a monster here, understand it's been made very clear to me that the Xbox is Anthony's second choice because if nothing else, his wife doesn't want him to get an Xbox. She says it's for 13-year-old boys and real men play using PS5s. So I'm just learning that now. Apparently, we're all children for using an Xbox. But I thought,
we've all known that, Dane.
If anybody's going to use the Xbox, it's going to be me then. I will get it. I'll get the Series X. I'll enjoy it. And I'm sorry, Anthony. I totally would have bought you one if there had been another. And trust me, I did press the guy.
Anthony, you know what would have been funnier? Is if there had actually been plenty of PS5s there.
Right.
And Dane forgot to ask about that.
Oh, no, that's the problem. I did ask the guy, and the guy said, "You're lucky there's even one Xbox here. The PS5 is like, there's nothing here at all, period, zero, zilch." And I went, okay. So I guess I've got my message, and Anthony's going to be really sad when I get back to the office and tell him what happened.
Yeah, so he got home. He got back to the office. He was chipper mood, and I said, "Oh, so Dane, you got your..."
He was walking around. I remember he was like, waving it around, looking at us, going like, "You see this? You wish you had this.
That's
You're never gonna get this."
I left it in the back of the truck in the footwell and didn't touch it.
We were just hanging out
until I got home that
we were
night.
Like, "That's cool. Good for you. That's strange."
I'm not a gloater. I don't want to gloat.
No, so that's where.
I'm pretty sure you were.
So I was definitely a little. I mean, it was fine. It was not a big deal. I just, I told them. I said, hey, when you go home and play tonight, maybe send me a video so I feel like I'm there when you turn on that Xbox for the first time and enjoy that next gen console. Playing Cyberpunk. I really hope that is a good thing for you. I'll just be crying on my PlayStation 4 and just playing old games from 2015.
I'm so sorry.
So it's okay. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It hasn't been.
I just sent you a screen cap of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it hasn't been haunting me or anything.
Yeah.
So
I have a Amazon Fire 10. Can I get Cyberpunk?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't crash that at all.
Yeah. They definitely have it for that.
I was wondering.
It is the 2D version.
I'll look on there.
It's a very low-res game. It'll play just fine. So before we get too far off in the weeds here, I'll let you continue. Basically, point is, sorry about that.
Yeah. So that's what happened on Friday. And then Saturday morning, I had to go drop off the truck to Senor Mike to get my thermostat all fixed again, right? Because I told you guys the check engine light came back on my truck. So I dropped it off first thing in the morning to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll have it done to you, here in the next day or so." So I was pretty stoked. So from there, I did some Christmas shopping, went down to Costco on a Saturday morning. Surprisingly dead. I was pretty excited about that. I got 3 gifts for my wife that I think that she'll like and use. That's a hard thing, man. Shopping for significant others, I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at buying gifts for anybody in the first place.
Does she give you like clues or like straight up says what she wants?
No. I just
have to guess.
No, she tells me what she wants, but she says, "Hey, if I have to ask you for this thing, then I don't want it because I have to ask for it." And I say that's not fair at all.
God,
and she wants it to be like a special thing, right?
But it's always a test. Like, you get the thing, but it's slightly wrong, and then they're like, "You must not know me very well."
No, she would never say that. She would always be happy with whatever I got her. But it would
on the outside.
On the outside, but on the inside maybe. So that's where I'm just like, I went out and let's just say I made 3 really good guesses, which I'm hoping are going to work in my favor. But I did that, and then I went out and drove. I drove the Evo around actually for most of the day. Believe it or not, actually, I know it was a nice day. It's going to snow for the next 2 weeks, so I figured I might as well get the fluids moving through it.
Oh, this is when you went to go drop by Jason's and then abandoned him like 10 minutes
later. I did abandon him, yeah. So I went over to my friend Jason's house. He was actually doing a headlight swap on a 2020 F-150, right? Nightmare, right? If you own an F-150 and you have to swap out headlights, couldn't believe how hard they have made that truck to work on to take headlights out, right?
They probably assume that you think the headlights are cool new and you're just
you have to take off the fender flares, you have to take off the front valence, you have to remove part of the front bumper, and then you have like 17 brackets within inside that headlight assembly that you have to remove. It was one of those installs where I was happier to watch than actually participate in, because when you see somebody prying on clips and you're like, that's probably prying a little too hard.
On the upside, they're new clips. They're only like a year old at most.
Doesn't matter, Dane. They all snapped, and so on a brand new truck, they all snapped. My favorite part was he's pulling off this fender flare, and I'm like, you're getting it. It's finally coming off. Here, I'll kind of hold it down. He goes to yank up, right? Clip pops off. He's like, yes, we did it. What he didn't see is that we literally bent the fender flare in half and cracked the paint on the fender flare. And I was like, oh no. And I point at it and he's like, damn it. And so it was crappy.
You just can't leave it stuck.
I know, but it was like watching.
So was he putting new headlights, like different style headlights?
Yeah,
new
aftermarket,
different style headlights. Yeah, different style headlights. Yeah. So
man. Just
cool headlights on how to do it.
Yeah, we watched 5 YouTube videos and it was just a nightmare. Just heads up to anybody trying to swap out 2020 F-150 lights. You're in it and not in a good way. So anyway, so that was kind of like my Saturday. It was just kind of a lot of hanging out, running around, doing errands and stuff like that. I did wash the Civic because I felt like I wasn't going to be able to wash it for a while, so I did a rinseless on it. And I'd used this time around. I used Uber. Is what I used Wolfgang Uber rinseless, and I really like that rinseless. And I don't have any of the new O&R at home yet. We've just been playing with it here at work, and so. Just gave it a wash with Uber, and it feels fantastic on the CSL EXO combination. I mean, I feel like car is just looking better and better with every wash, which is crazy. And so But that was a pretty good feeling. And so that was pretty much it, man. Pretty easy night on Saturday. And then Sunday was my birthday party, right? My birthday's not until tomorrow.
Extravaganza.
Yeah.
But every year for the last 4 years, we have done, it's called drunk tubing, where we go up to Bogus Basin on the tubing hill, joining all these other children and these other people.
Wow.
And I know it sounds horrible, but we kind of go to the cars, right? We have a couple drinks, then we go tubing. It's a blast. It is really, really fun. And
I'm going to, hello, officer. For anybody listening in the audience, there's a large gap between the time you're behind the wheel and the time you're.
Well, Dane, we have
and you're on a mountain with snow.
We have.
I feel like I have to point all this out.
We have designated drivers, Dane. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Dane didn't bring his designated driver.
But anyway,
I also didn't drink.
We also didn't drink. So normally every year it is a ton of fun. We like I said, we go have drinks, we go tubing. It's a freaking blast. And it's kind of been like an annual thing that we always do. Well, we met up at the gas station, 10 a.m. We wanted to get there by noon was when our time starts. Met up. Everybody was ready to rock and roll. We drive up to this mountain, and there is quite literally gale force winds happening up on this mountain.
Hurricane.
It was like a snow hurricane.
Oh, I wish you got that video clip. It's hilarious.
Here on Sunday.
It was impossible. Like, it was almost like you got out of the car and all the girls there, they were like, we're not getting out of the truck. And so the guys were like, well, let's go over to the hill and see how bad it was. Dude, you could stand up and lean into the wind and it would hold you up.
Yeah.
That's how windy it was.
As a big guy, you could do
They all
that.
look at me like, Anthony, we love you. We'll still do this if you want to do this. And I'm like, no, guys, I'm not going to make you suffer through this. I don't even want to suffer through this. So we got to, I guess, postpone this. I don't know if we'll go back up again for the year, but we went back down the mountain, went to our hillside hollow. It's like a German, it's not quite the Schnitzel Garden, but it is
love Hillside Hollow.
But it is a German themed kind of.
It's very Bavarian inside ski lodge feel.
Yeah.
But a lot of light comes in too. Like they have a lot of skylights and things kind of open up with a big fireplace in the middle.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
It's kind of open.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So we ordered a ton of food. We all got a bunch of different food. We all hung out there. There was probably 8 of us maybe. We had to split up tables.
And they had very strict guidelines as to how everybody goes in there, no more than 6 to a table. Like, I will emphasize for anybody who's like, oh, a restaurant, like, it was the most carefully orchestrated I've seen of any place. Like, they didn't even give you a menu. They give you a QR code taped to the table. You scan it with your phone, and they just figure you'll get your menu that way.
And we sat in a corner, too, away from everybody. So it was fine. But pretty much just got food, man. And we all ate, and they're like, happy birthday, Anthony. I'm like, oh, thanks. This has been really special. And so it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. I get it. So from there, I mean, everybody kind of parted ways, and went back to my house, took a nap, hung out for a little bit, and then went and picked up my truck. Thing is running pretty smooth, but I'm telling you, man, it's just so cold out that I think that truck is just not meant for this type of cold weather because.
Well, it's also been running
summer
cold
truck
lately.
Yeah, well, the thermostat, like it's still reading, like it's supposed to, probably get somewhere around 190 to 200 in terms of operating temp. It's still sitting at like 170, 180, and so I'm kind of just hesitant. Yeah, even with a new thermostat.
You need green bean? I can give you green bean for the winter, and you can just tow that around.
Well,
I'm a load to the rear.
I'm about to throw cardboard on that radiator. I don't know what else to do.
Green bean is taller than the.
I just don't want that check engine light to come back on. So I don't know. It is what it is. But then Sunday we got some snow coming in, and that was when I think Saturday or Sunday evening we got quite a bit of snow, and I mean that was it. I mean it was. I wish it was more exciting. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but that was about as exciting as my weekend was.
That's basically the gist of it.
Nothing crazy. So, Dane, what did you do?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that Anthony mentioned, I was there for the Sunday stuff. But on Saturday, played a little Xbox, reoriented some things.
Yeah, must have been nice.
Getting back in the swing of things. Didn't realize how rusty I was at playing racing games because that's my great passion in life is driving cars I'll never be able to afford just for fun, and the things. Yeah, it's a good time. And then, of course, recreating the Jag in the game. I had to do that, so that was a thing.
Good for you.
So I'm covering all my bases. But, I really enjoyed it. And I didn't want to gloat too much, send anything to Anthony or
no, it's fine.
Levi doesn't care as much, but maybe Jimmy.
The free plug on there. I worked hard to get that information, and you're enjoying it.
It was sent to you
for free. That's fine.
And you sent it to me.
Next time you charge for that, Anthony. Next time
it's a finder's fee.
I guess
you're gonna have to charge Dane.
Now, see, here's the thing,
I'm gonna tell you where to go get something. If you end up buying something, you owe me $50.
One caveat was I actually did go out of my way, and this is something like normal people wouldn't do this, but because I am genuinely someone who cares, I thought, you know what? Day before your birthday thing, I got a message from Gabe kind of later in the evening about, there's a bunch of consoles over here at the Caldwell Walmart.
Yeah.
Like they actually got some in. I was like, oh, okay. But it was a post on like a private Facebook group. So, like a bunch of other people probably saw it too.
Yeah.
But I thought, hey, I'll check it out. So actually the day of his event, I went there earlier in the morning to go check it out. And unfortunately, it wasn't anything there. But I drove all that way out of my way, like 45 minutes out of my way just to check and see.
I want to commend you because that is a true friend to drive out to flippin' Caldwell to find a game system for Anthony.
Can you believe that?
That is I will tell you, Anthony, I wouldn't do that for you.
I know you wouldn't. No, I wouldn't ask you.
I wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't even ask you.
I know, but I wouldn't. Even out of the kindness of my own heart, I wouldn't do that for you. So, Dane.
Well, and then to top it all off,
sir,
I did pay the tab on our table, and then everybody Venmo'd me anyway, so I guess that worked out for me in the end. But I was willing to, like, as a birthday present, I was like, at least let me buy
we couldn't let Dane do that, not at all.
I tried.
Nice.
No. It was a very
Dane
nice
felt
gesture.
guilty for getting that Xbox.
No, he will have that guilt with him for until I have.
It's just how I'm wired. Okay.
Dane's gonna carry that on his shoulder.
Oh man.
Carry that on his shoulder.
Yeah. No, that's just the way it is, and I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. But my weekend was mostly spent like that, and I got this is gonna sound sad. I got an ultrasonic device to get my dog to stop barking at 3-4 in the morning. Because she's kind of developed that recently, where she gets all amped up and wants to like play around and run around at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately. So if I've been feeling a little frazzled or looking a little frazzled for the last few weeks, that's probably
you try giving her a little bit of ketamine?
Yikes.
Horse tranquilizer? It's just a mild grade, low grade.
So, no, what I did was...
some melatonin, Dane.
I was originally... This sounds bad. Like, I realize people who are, like, animal lovers, and they're like, do the training first. You just need to incentivize the right things and disincentivize the wrong things. And train. Yeah. So, I sold the crate a long time ago, unfortunately. But in this case, I went looking for a collar. I was originally going to do, like... my parents had the invisible fence thing. I was just going to look for a shock collar, not to like crazy shocker, but just like, hey, cut it out. Low voltage.
Give her a
buzz. Give her a little buzz. Well, as I went to Petco and discovered that they had recently decided to grow conscious and phase out all of their shock collars, and now they only use the little scented collar things that like give you a little fragrance. Yeah. So that's, nice. That's a thing. But I can kind of. I can kind of get it. Yeah, that's some people go that way, but I think it's because dogs like olfactory systems are that powerful that it would actually kind of disorient them. So I kind of get where that's coming from. I didn't end up getting that. I got the super high frequency like thing where you can't hear it, humans can't hear it, but it'll get the dog. And I felt so bad the first time I used it because I kept looking at it like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And then I was just like, beep, and then I saw her wince and her ears like flew up, and I went, oh, okay, that's enough. Like she was so taken aback, and then she went and hid for like went and hid for like an hour
needs to learn not
or two.
To bark.
And then at 6 o'clock she came in, and she never sleeps on our bed. She came in, immediately hopped on the bed and was quiet and just slept there for like 5 straight hours. Did not get up. Was like scared.
So it worked.
Like, oh geez,
it worked.
I felt horrible though because she was so like
Good job, Dane. Good
freaked out. I felt horrible about that. But at the end of the day, it's because I have given her a lot of bad incentives where I give her treats because she will hold the door hostage. She does that thing. Like there's an old joke of like, Not go inside, not go outside. What about the third option? Just leaving the door open. And it's like when it's 20 degrees outside Fahrenheit, I'm not interested in leaving the door
sometimes they
open.
just want to smell the
cold
air. That's
they want that.
Smell the cold air.
I will say my favorite, this is totally off topic. My favorite smell in the whole wide world, the smell of a fire outside on a really cold winter day. Just that smell is the best.
You can go start one in the woods, and so you can smell it all winter long.
That's an option, I guess.
The idea is just to let it get as big as possible, right? And you just let it.
This is no longer a bonfire. This is a state emergency.
Just have a fire going
you know.
3 a.m. when you take the dog out. You too can get a whip.
Well, just get those kids.
You're just roasting s'mores from a helicopter.
I will say. So there was one weird thing that did happen during my weekend that I'm still just not sure what the heck happened. Friday night, right? That was like my lazy night. I was just sitting on. I was debating watching. I sat there for an hour looking at the this movie that Russell Crowe's in. What's it called? The Russell Crowe movie.
Oh, Unhinged.
Unhinged, right?
I saw the trailer for that and just bust up laughing because it looks ridiculous. But it's one of like those like 70s, 80s movies where it's like a classic movie of like a really simple premise and it's just non-stop terror, just like this guy pursuing.
I love it.
Because a lady honked at him at a stop sign.
Yeah.
But it's road rage in the worst way.
I had been sitting there looking at that on the screen thinking like, okay, Anthony, just press the purchase button, right? Just press the purchase button. Go to press the purchase button. Apparently I'm logged into somebody else's Amazon account that I have no idea because apparently I don't have the PIN for it and I couldn't purchase the video. It could be Katie's relatives. I have no idea. So I just said, you know what? Forget it. I'll just watch some YouTube videos. So,
okay.
This whole time, Anthony, if you have Hulu, you could have been watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I didn't do that though.
Stress this enough. No. I'm getting tired.
He's really trying to get us to watch that. I know the humor. I love the humor.
I'm just feeling super forced into the whole
situation. For some reason, I just can't get myself to start it.
No, I don't like how forced.
But Levi's totally right. I know he's right. I just haven't done it yet, and I feel bad about that.
So, but I am. So things I am looking forward to watching though is the new Amazon, the new Wild Hunt from the Grand Tour, from Jeremy Clarkson and James May, Richard Hammond, all them. So and that'll be coming out. I think on this Friday is what it comes out on. So the 18th. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway,
I saw Safari Bentley.
So I was trying to catch up on LHT's videos that they did with Matt Moorman's Civic, right? So I wanted to find out everything that went into his EM1, and so I was watching those. And then out of nowhere, I heard a boom, right? And I felt this boom that it was not just, how do I say this? It shook the house, right? It shook the house. It set off car alarms. It was a boom that was so loud that I actually can't even describe. It wasn't a firework. It was just something, it was so...
Not a sonic boom?
It was an explosion of some sort,
Because the last
time
I heard something like that, it was like a power station had an issue and something exploded or something, but...
Something like that, right? So anyway, this boom happens, shakes the house, and like literally I could see my chandelier kind of moving, and I said something went off in like my backyard or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I go out and run out into the backyard to go look, and I could see in the distance every other neighbor, right, running outside in their backyard.
Just WTF.
Looking around like, what's going on, right? And I see guys with flashlights running around and all sorts of stuff. And everybody's like, what was that? What was that? And my neighborhood app is blowing up. Everybody's saying, like, what was that?
Oh,
loud
you got
boom?
the Nextdoor app.
No, it's the Ring app, whatever it is.
Okay.
So everybody's trying to figure out what this boom was. And there was I'm talking like neighborhood search parties, like walking around trying to figure out what this was. And there's this giant cloud of smoke in the sky.
Okay, so that's your clue.
I mean, but I'm talking like, I'm talking maybe a quarter mile wide. It was huge. It was a massive. It was a massive.
Quarter mile.
Dane, I'm not kidding when I say that this was a massive thing of smoke, and so nobody could figure it out. And there's no police reports or anything like that. But apparently, somebody had said that somebody had lit off. It was a style of firework, right, that shot up into the sky. But it was not like a mortar or anything like that. It was something that was extremely...
This sounds like something someone snuck off of military
unconventional.
base.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And so I've never heard of anything like this before in my life, but apparently that's what the reports were, that there was an apartment complex. But this boom was heard, right, from Locust Grove all the way to 10 Mile, right, 10-mile all the way back down to Fairview, and then Fairview wrapped up back up to Locust Grove.
How many mile radius is that for the people who have no idea where the streets
3 miles?
are?
3 miles, right? And
you live off of Chinden. How are you able to? How far south did it go?
Because they think that the boom happened somewhere around Chinden.
North, I should say.
They think somewhere around Chinden and Locust Grove is where they think happened.
Apparently.
So, but it was like a shock wave, and nobody could figure it out. But and we thought it was a transformer, but nobody lost power. So everybody was like, well, that power is available to everybody. But it was big enough to where it shook the house. Everybody thought it was in their own backyard because it was just that loud. And it set off car alarms in a, like I said, a quarter-mile radius, half-mile radius of that blast.
Oh, I bet your Civic went off. That thing is so sensitive.
Dude, it did. It did go off. So it was just the strangest thing. I've never seen anything like that before in my life, and couldn't figure it out. And I was thinking, maybe it's aliens. 2020 sounds about right. Just finish it off right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, yeah, anything could happen. We still have a few weeks left, I guess. So we'll watch when the clock ticks over and it's just 2020, the sequel. It rolls over and it goes.
Yeah,
it's the 12:60 a.m. and you'd go, oh,
yeah. Like, the
horror.
That's not even possible, right?
Congratulations.
Stock of Woos magically
oh yeah, suddenly we have a whole bunch of stock, guys.
What if it was like? Well, you guys remember the millennium, like at 2000, right? Everybody thought that the clocks were not going to be able to register 2000, right? And everything was going to be a giant shutdown.
At the time, that was a genuine concern, albeit blown out of proportion, but it was a genuine concern.
But
people were buying generators for their homes?
What if the clock goes to roll and we're getting out of 2020, just wraps right back around to another 2020, and people are like, is this a joke?
It just says 1/1/2020 all over again. Oh,
whatever,
man.
But yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of firework or what kind of explosion would have caused that.
That had to have been something pretty exciting. Because we do have a lot of military activity at our bases and stuff, but it wasn't that. And we have jets like the F-35 and stuff right here.
I have the jets they'll do a flyover. And they'll do a training exercise, and it'll shake.
And they are not
house.
subtle; they are loud.
And it is not quiet at all. And it is just a loud drone, and then it just the house shakes.
Yeah, my house is in the flight path, so I know.
Yeah,
but it's part of living, but. Same time,
but a boom. That's crazy.
Yeah, a boom is a little different.
Yeah, and like I said, I normally wouldn't even talk about this, but it was just that massive,
and you still don't have an answer.
I still don't have an answer to it.
Big bad illegal firework is the best anybody can come up with.
That's it, man.
That's the official story.
No, and I'm not. I can't accept that. So
no, anyway. You're gonna wonder. I'm sure we'll find out years from now. Somebody will be like, "Oh, that was actually something."
Oh, good.
One funny thing I was gonna point out, just because I showed this to Levi, was I got a phone call, got a message left on my phone. This was kind of near the end of last week, and it was a call from the mechanic shop that I set up an appointment with for the Jag, right? And
get that.
I'd scheduled that 2 months in advance. I was like, great. The guy told me I'm really booked back, but I'll have an availability on the 28th if you'd like to get in on that. So I gave him that, and this was 2 months ago. Well, he gave me a call last week and basically called and said, unfortunately, I won't be able to work on your car on the 28th. Because I'll be shutting down the shop. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, I get it. Probably a holiday. Maybe he's going on a trip. It seems like a small shop. He has maybe one person helping him. And then the sentence continues, forever.
Closing the shop.
He's just closing it forever. For good. Wow. So there's not a lot of options here in the Valley for that aren't the dealership. So I caved this week.
The good news is, Dane, he said he's going to work back at the dealership.
Right, he's going to go back to working at the dealership. So. I think it's just a case where that shop's been running a very long time, but the guy was partnered with someone who splintered off to go run another business, and I guess he probably felt like maybe the duty was just too much stuff happening for one guy to run it all, and I can see that kind of going that way, and he just figures, you know what, it's easier to work for someone else than it is to try and manage all this by myself. And I totally get that, and I think detailers can relate to that too, being in that position. It's definitely something that a lot of people face every day. And the guy has no shortage of work, so I don't think that was the problem. He had plenty of cars to work on at all times in that shop. But I will unfortunately not be one of them. He was like the trusted Jag guy here in the Valley, mostly Land Rovers and Range Rovers, but also Jag. So I called up our friends down at Boise Muffler, the auto repair shop, and I talked to him, and within about 2 minutes, I got a rejection because he said, we don't work on Jaguars here. He just said, we're more domestic. And the problem for me is, like, I could sit there and talk the guy's ear off about how it's basically the same supercharger that's on the GT500 Shelby.
Body Mustang.
It's basically like, it's Jaguar body, but a lot of the parts are like co-developed with Ford, and like there's all these things I can say. But he's a mechanic. He's going to be like, I'm the mechanic here. You don't know anything. I'm just, I'm not going to listen to this because I'm not going to work on it. Yeah. So I get that. You as like detailers, you have the right to refuse customers if it's not working for you. Yeah. So I talked to him, and I got my answer. He was nice. He wasn't like a jerk or anything. He was nice because I like those guys. But yeah, no, he was very upfront about. No, we don't. We're more domestic. We don't do that whole foreign car thing. Sorry. So kind of a bummer. But then I ended up scheduling with the dealership here because it was such an easy online experience. They have it so well built out. At the very least, I just want somebody who knows what they're looking at to give the car once over. I'm sure it's not going to be pretty, but I've kind of prepared for that. So whatever needs to be done within reason, I will have done because I love that car so much. I don't want to give it up. I don't want to change it for anything. Yeah. It's going to be a staple in my driveway until something better comes along, and it would have to be something truly better. But right now, I think that's the best car. No, Corvette is not better. That's I love
Corvette. I don't think a Corvette's better.
Maybe a C8. Maybe a C8. But that's not the price. See, that's the thing. Bang for my buck, the XKR is so much better than any other car I could get for the money in terms of the full package, at least as far as the things I'm looking for. I get other people would be, well, it doesn't have a manual and all this other. I get it. I understand. But for a fun cruiser that you can absolutely light up the tires anytime you want to, it's fun. It's just that fun, and you're comfy everywhere you go. Heated and cooled
seats. And it costs as much as this, Dane. It costs as much as this.
Correct. That one there, which was also used. So that gives you an idea. I mean, it's just, it's such a good deal for what it is. And I get people are like, well, sounds like you have to get work done on it. So what good deal is there really? But that's the thing you go into it is understanding there's always going to be maintenance. And people will definitely say there's nothing more expensive than a used Jaguar. But until we get this thing resolved, and it's not because I have anything horribly wrong. I just want somebody to look at it so that I have peace of mind. Yeah. I just haven't done that in the year that I've owned it. I haven't had anybody look at it. It's been great for me so far. Unfortunately, it did develop a funny noise just in the last week up front, and I want to get that looked at. So that's where I'm definitely glad I booked that appointment. We'll take care of that.
That's fine, Dane.
I'm holding on to the car. I don't care what anybody says. I'm holding on to it. I love it.
Yeah.
So my parents took my dad took his Ridgeline to the Honda dealership.
The Hyundai dealership. How did that work?
They took it to the Honda dealership to have the service done, right? Change the oil on it about 6 months ago. And one of the guys actually accidentally unplugged something and ended up burning up the motor.
Oh, good.
And they ended up replacing the whole upper end of the engine. So the whole top end of that engine got completely rebuilt.
It's called the head.
So all the heads, everything, intake,
it's just one
all
head.
that stuff. So
it's just one head.
It's it's the top end. It's a V6.
It's just the head.
So anyway, got to rebuild the engine because they starved it of oil. So that was really cool of the dealership to do. And then thankfully they paid for all that. Then my dad said he went to start it up again, and it had no oil pressure this last weekend.
No way.
So he had it taken back to Tom Scott Honda to have them see what was wrong, and they had a sensor that went out. And so that's what was causing it to not have oil pressure. But my dad had it towed out there because he didn't want to drive it when he saw there was no oil pressure. So anyway, it's going to be super fun to see what the dealership does to the Jag, Dane. Hopefully the Jag dealership, hopefully get that guy there in time. Hopefully the best mechanic in time can get there to go work on your lovely Jag. And hopefully nothing bad happens.
His shop apparently closes around the same date that I scheduled for my appointment. And new appointment I've built up happens a few days before that original date. So he's not going to be there. But
dang it,
we'll work it out. I am prepared, come what may, but at the same time, it would have to be absolutely ridiculous, fingers crossed, for me to walk away from it. But without that, I think I'll be okay. The guy before me definitely didn't shy away from driving it. It got driven hard in places, but at the same time, it's been a solid car. So I'll see. We'll just see what happens. But on the other note, I want to go back to what Anthony was originally talking about with the Obsessed Garage Civic, because I know you got some thoughts on that, and I do want to talk about that for a kind of like final
the new video dropped,
here.
the first drive. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, so Matt takes it out for the first time in the new B with the new B18 and then the Integra Type R motor. It's insane, man. That sound is intoxicating, and it sounds incredible. And it's funny seeing how happy he is in that car and seeing how many smiles are on his face during the whole thing. It's just like,
well, just the one.
It's just amazing. Yeah, so it's really cool. And he was like, "Screw it, I'm not giving away this car." He's still giving it away, but you could tell that I think he actually finally got to a point where he enjoyed it.
He surprised himself.
That's it's like because I remember when he did all that stuff to the S2000, he wasn't as happy, but it was like everything he wanted to do if he was that age to do that. So this is kind of fun because this is the car that he had that he wished he could have done all this stuff to it. And so it's neat to see that he was validated in his own thinking that this was the right choice. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
Anthony knows people want to see Civic videos.
Yeah. So a really quick fun fact, right? So I've kind of been sitting here on my phone behind this thing, right, refreshing this page, right? Man. Fun fact: I've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning trying to get a PlayStation from Best Buy, right? Guess what happened? It just went live.
Sold out.
Did your browser just crash? Oh no
way, man!
Oh.
I'm literally telling you right now. I finally, after literally 3 hours,
he's been on this all morning.
I get the add to cart button, and it just crashes.
Did you have like all your payment info set up in advance?
I had it
and everything?
all in there. I clicked it.
Refresh the page.
I clicked on it, and it says
refresh it. Come on.
It says adding. So right now it says we can't load the page.
I'm sure
it was in my cart, and I was like, so I was trying not to get like too excited because I'm sitting here like, oh, there it is. Anthony can still continue the conversation, and then I'm like, there it is, and it's gone.
I'm pretty sure there's at least 200,000 or 300,000 other people doing the exact same thing you're doing right now.
What a bunch of bad luck. I'm done. I'm done with this stupid thing, man. I'm done. This is BS. I'm done I'm going home, guys. This is ridiculous.
Man. Hey, we still got a podcast to do. So finish up with the Civic.
So anyway, it's a great video. I'd say go and check it out. And I think that all the money and work that went into that car has been well worth it. I don't think you have to spend $150,000, but I think
well worth it is relative.
But I think relative.
I'm excited to buy a couple shirts.
I think the car's awesome.
Civic.
Just when you consider
Can't
the money
wait to win
it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So anyways, I'm definitely going to be buying some Civic shirts because that's just what I want. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm just going to sit here and stew for the next day. There it was.
Kirby Thompson.
There he goes, right? Yeah. It says, Anthony, this is a warning. You're really not meant to pray. I'm not, apparently.
No.
But Dane took my only other option away from me.
I'm so sorry, but not really.
I can't believe it. I was even going to show you guys, like, here it is, guys, the add to cart button, and then you would have saw the disappointment in my eyes as it's gone. Yeah.
God. Okay, so I got Ricky here. He wants to know if I'd fancy low mileage 1M. I would. I would love that car. Part of the reason I love that car is because I guarantee you that's going to be a collector's item in the future just because of low production, and it was kind of a unique car for what it was. But at any rate, I think that's all we really need to talk about today. That's really it. Like, we covered everything.
Hilarious.
But man, that is just...
Sorry,
is that poetic
Anthony.
Justice? No, it's just poetic.
Hopefully
There's no
you get it
justice
back.
in it at all.
Hopefully,
Guys,
by the time it pops back up, it's still available. You still have one.
I had the feeling, too. I'm like, it's going to go live at probably like 11 after waiting for this long.
Steve here is absolutely right. Working with these guys should be a ton of fun. Yes.
It is fun. It is always fun. But yeah, I'd say, Dane, take it away.
Okay, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this live podcast. I know we did, albeit with a remote Levi. Yeah. But hey, you know what? He was here all the same, and he got to show us a little peek at MOS HQ, so that's always nice. Started off as a Viking, now he's just MOS. But yeah, guys, if you want to watch these videos in the future, they'll always be here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, but it's also available on all of your podcast platforms. So if you listen to podcasts somewhere in the future, you can find it on Stitcher, Spotify, basically anywhere you find your normal Apple Podcasts, etc. So with all that said, until next week, guys, just check out the sale, and we'll see you later. All right, see you Thursday.